All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Stay on hold, people. I promise we will get your calls here in just a few minutes. And good news as far as the Shriners Hospital for Children's Open. They have just announced, and by the way, if you have no idea what that is, that's the PGA tournament in our backyard at TPC Summerlin. Former UNLV player who I don't believe has ever played in the golf tournament here. He's a top 20 player in the world, I believe. Adam Scott has just said that he will be playing in that event. So that is really cool.
It is a joy to watch him putt.
He's a very good putter and a very good player. But anyway, that's great news for the Shriners. That tournament coming up at the end of September. John Schaefer, our program director, news anchor, is in studio, and he is delivering us the news as he always does so well. John, what's going on?
Guys? Well, the teachers union and the Clark County School District have reached a new contract agreement averting a strike that was scheduled for September 10th. Union leaders and the Clark County School District announced at a news conference late Wednesday that the district will fund the salary increase for continuing education, in addition to honoring a commitment for 3% raises and more money for health insurance.
By the way, former Clark County School District teacher John Brookhagen, he called this. He said that this would happen. I gave him all the credit in the world.
He predicted it 100% on the dot.
Yes, so he's going to be coming in studio next week to kind of tell us what this all means. But yes, he did predict this was going to happen.
A clerk at a Las Vegas convenience store has tested positive for hepatitis A. The Southern Nevada Health District is warning that store customers could be at risk of infection. Transmission of hepatitis A from food handlers to patrons is rare, but the district cautions that customers of a 7-Eleven convenience store on South Maryland Parkway who bought non-prepackaged foods like hot dogs or hot deli items between July 26th and August 6th may have been exposed to the virus.
Hey, Mom, can I go to 7-Eleven for that Hep Slurpee, please?
Oh.
JD, what do you think that would taste like if you ordered a Hep Slurpee at 7-Eleven?
I think it would taste the exact same. I wouldn't know the difference, and that's why that's scary.
How does that happen? Okay, so this is a person that obviously touched the food, right? Am I assuming
yes,
that?
Yes, it was an employee at the 7-Eleven.
So making your pizza, making your hot dog, or whatever other disgusting things they make there, there is a strong possibility, and I'm not a doctor, that if somebody with Hep touches your food, you have a very good chance of getting it, right? I'm not a doctor, but right? Help me out here.
I honestly have no idea.
Have you ever had Hep before?
I've never had that.
Well,
that's why I don't like needles or tattoos.
You know what? Hang out at 7-Eleven. You might
either
get
of those things.
Hang
needles or tattoos or hot dogs.
Hang out at a 7-Eleven.
Right.
All I want to do is get a Slurpee and a hot dog.
Or 7-Eleven chicken wings.
In this day
I'd
and
rather go
age.
to PT's Pub.
So how'd you get Hep? Was it sexual or something? No, I just got a Slurpee at 7-Eleven.
Got it over there on Maryland Parkway.
Yeah, it's great.
That's not a great way to get it either.
Oof, that's bad.
A College of Southern Nevada student was arrested yesterday after police found a rifle and about 2,000 rounds of ammunition in his car at the school's Henderson campus. University Police Services found the gun and ammo after a tip from other students. 27-year-old Sean Striegel was arrested on charges of suspicion of having a dangerous weapon on school property. He told police he forgot the gun was in the car when he drove to school.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Doesn't it seem like these stories are happening every day?
You know, 50 rounds, okay, but 2,000 rounds?
It's a few too many.
That's quite a bit.
Hey, according to Dana Loesch from the NRA, who we will get to here in a moment, I'm sure she's got no problem with that at all. No problem.
A New Hampshire woman is fighting the State Department of Motor Vehicles over her 15-year-old vanity license plate showing a common parental phrase. Wendy Auger of Rochester has been asked to surrender the plate, which reads PB4WEGO. P before we go. The state says phrases related to excretory acts aren't permitted. Auger's appealing. She said, who as a mom or dad or parental figure hasn't had to say that to kids before leaving the house? She's one of 92 New Hampshire drivers who received vanity plate recall letters this year. DMV spokesperson said the plates must be rejected when they don't conform to legal requirements.
Wait, so what are you saying? I couldn't have a plate that says take a dump? Is that what you're saying?
No, you could not have a take a dump. A TKADMP. No, you could not do that.
Well, that's crap.
I'm not happy about that. You know what I love about that? That the state used the word excretory.
Yeah. I like that they let her have it for 15 years and now have decided that it's not right.
Now it's an issue.
I don't care what the law is. I'm on her side.
Well, that's a good point.
The creativity.
If she has 5 or 6 kids, that could be a real problem if they're not going to the bathroom before
But
they
I got to
leave.
say it to myself before I leave the house.
Listen, I give her an A+ for creativity.
Yeah.
For that reason and that reason alone, I think that they should allow her to keep the plate.
Absolutely.
I learned something new today. Okay, well, I can't have a license plate that says take a dump. Now I learned something new.
Excretory, Ryan. Excretory.
I'm sorry, excretory. Okay, Mr. Schaefer, go ahead and use the restroom. We'll let you leave now. Okay?
I will if there's any toilet paper left.
Probably not. No, knowing me, probably not. All right,
well,
Mr. Schaefer.
He substitutes the silk stuff after he uses it.
Schaefer's going to be in a good mood today. He's got a 3-day weekend after tomorrow. So, and he's only showing up to work one day next week. He told me he's going to catch some Penn State football. Yeah, I'm happy for him. Anyway, we'll take some phone calls now at 257-5396. Against the number to call if you want to be a part of the show. The GCI guys hotline is 702-257-5396. How'd you like to go with your family to 7-Eleven? All you want to do is get a hot dog and a Slurpee, and then you end up getting a bad case of hepatitis. And the doctor says, you've been sexually active, you've been in contact with people. Well, I went to 7-Eleven, I got a hot dog. Oh, there you go. That's where it must have come from. Just absolutely disgusting. 257-5396. Let's go to Angel. Angel, what's going on?
What's up, Angel?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing this morning?
Man.
Doing
Good,
great.
Man. What's on your mind?
Good. Hey, so, you guys, I listen to the show a lot, and, you guys both make great points about, Trump and everything like that, and I wanted to chime in on that because I think,
Sure.
I think it's important. I don't think there's anybody out there that if they do, they're lying, that would say Trump doesn't lie on a consistent basis. He does that.
Sure.
I think in his defense, you also have, like you guys were just saying, before you went to commercial there, he's getting attacked on a daily basis, so he feels like he has to defend himself. For me personally, I don't care who the president is. I feel like, whoever's president is just a puppet. They're not getting things done anyway. We're $21 trillion in debt. But what we fail to focus on, instead of sitting here and saying, hey, Trump lies, why don't we focus on Congress's inability to pass laws and improve the country? And, we have people who have been in office for 60 years who have failed to improve the United States, but they're getting pensions for the rest of their life. They're getting $350,000.
Valid point.
It seems like the country as a whole is in a crisis because we're not improving anything.
Valid point.
We're not passing laws.
Angel, can I ask you something?
We have all these things happening.
Valid point.
And that's why being bipartisan is so important.
Listen, I don't disagree with anything you just said, but can't we do both? Can't we call out those politicians that don't get things done in Washington, but can't we also call out the president for embarrassing the country on a daily basis, as you said, for lying and being so thin-skinned?
And I do agree that President Trump he has to protect himself to a degree, but he doesn't have to go after every single person that has a following that goes after him.
Let me give you an example.
He does that because he really does enjoy the war. He likes the chaos.
Let me give you an example of what a scumbag our president is, okay? I like Seth Moulton, a former Democratic presidential candidate who's won medals, right, at war. He is a war hero. He's been on the show several times. Let me just explain the tweet. Donald Trump tweets out and blames Seth Moulton for the stock market crash and then says, by the way, who is Seth Moulton? A cheap shot to a guy who was a war hero. He has a history of going after war heroes. He goes after John McCain.
The thing about Seth Moulton is he is so small in comparison to Donald Trump on a national scale as far as attention.
As a good human being, it is the opposite end of the spectrum.
He is a war veteran.
Yeah.
He is the first ever presidential candidate to be open about having PTSD, having mental issues, looking into mental health. Right. And he got himself into Harvard. His parents didn't buy him into Harvard.
And who attacked
him? He still is paying off his student loans from Harvard. He told us that on air. And Donald Trump goes after him for no reason.
Zero reason.
And what happens is the military is suddenly very angry with him.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It doesn't make any sense when he does these things.
One reason why I like Trump, and it's not so
his
much
orange
Trump in
hair.
general. It's nice to see that, and does he do it too often? Yes, but it's nice to see a president who speaks his mind and who will stand up for what he believes is right. Now, he needs to tone it down about 12,000%, but we haven't seen presidents like that in the past. And, Obama was a great public speaker. He could rally people and get them on his side and stuff like that, but it's nice to see a president say, hey, I don't agree with you and I really don't care what you think. I think that's why Americans vote for him. I think he overextends that boundary line, but the majority of Americans feel like, hey, this guy will stand up for us.
Hold on, though, Angel. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up, even though I never like bringing up Hillary Clinton because I didn't vote for her. The majority of Americans voted for Hillary Clinton.
I'm so happy you brought that up.
That's because California and New York have more people.
The majority of Americans did vote for Hillary. You're correct. But if you take sizes of California and some of these bigger states that are pro-democratic, how is that fair to a state like Maine?
Okay, I'll answer your question. And we're going to probably disagree on this one, but I will gladly answer that. I do not believe in the Electoral College. Here's why. I don't care what state you live in, and people want to generalize California as being, blue or red. I think one vote in California. Hold on, let me finish what I'm going to say. Let me finish what I'm going to say.
It's a fact.
Let me finish what I'm going to say. I believe one vote in California should mean the actual exact same thing as a vote in New York or Las Vegas. As long as you are in the United States of America, your opinion, Angel, should mean just as much as mine. I don't give an F where you live. Your vote should mean the same as my vote. I don't care where you decide to reside. And if people want to generalize California as being all Democrat, or if people want to generalize,
great point,
Brian, that would make sense if all the states had the same laws, and they don't.
Well, hey guys, you do realize
if the climates were the same, and they're not.
Electoral College for this exact reason.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angel.
I said you do realize this is why they created the Electoral College for this exact reason.
I understand.
Because if you have your California and your Texas and, your Florida and, some of these bigger places, if they're pro-democratic, and you're right, everybody's vote should matter, no matter where you live. But if you have sections of the country that we know California is going to vote Democratic, we know, certain places are going to do that, I don't feel personally it's fair to elect a president when the majority of those votes that make the difference.
Can I ask you a question?
From two huge states like that.
Can I ask you a question? Do you have a family, Angel?
I do. I have 5 kids and a wife.
So have you ever had? Oh, congratulations.
5 kids?
Yeah, I have 4 girls and a boy. My oldest will be a teenager.
Okay, so
I have 1 kid, and it's very difficult with 1 kid.
Yeah, I don't care.
I understand.
Nobody cares. I'm just kidding. Okay, there's a reason why I asked that question. Have you ever had a situation in your family where you had like a family vote? Hey, how many people in family say we go to this restaurant or a movie tonight? Now, if somebody is in a different area of the house, do you make their vote mean less or more, or do you take a vote? If the vote is 3-2 and you guys vote 3-2 to go see the movies, but it just so happens your wife is in the bathroom, and if she's in the bathroom, you get 3 more votes. Would that make sense, Angel?
Well, no, you make a great point, but the difference I could say is they're all under the same guidance.
Exactly. They're under the same household.
If you go to California, they're all under that same guidance, right? And the majority of those big cities, they're pro-democratic.
Hey, listen,
every state is sovereign. All the rules are different.
If my house in Henderson, if I was voting in my house and my daughter was in Pennsylvania, well, she may have a different opinion because she's in a different area, different movies are out, different climate.
I hear you, Angel.
There's a millions of things that, could be different. And I think
I understand.
I think it's a tricky line because, yes, everybody's vote does matter.
Yes.
But maybe what you do is you equal all the states with all the same.
There's a lot of. Well, listen. I want you.
And
here's what I want.
And you have to think about some states. People live in some states because of where those states are and what the rules in those states are.
Here's what I want you to do, Angel. I want you to think about this a little bit more. I want to continue this debate with you because, hey, we're going to agree to disagree on this one, but I appreciate this discussion. You sound like a smart guy, and you're always welcome to call back anytime. Okay, I appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Angel.
Thanks a lot, Angel.
Yeah. Let's take one more call, then we're going to have to take a break. We got a crazy story coming up here. 257-5396, the number to call. JD, you're next. What's going on?
What's up, JD?
Hey, JD, Brian, good show.
Thank you.
First of all, in Puerto Rico, the hurricane missed Puerto Rico, by the way.
Right.
Thank God. Second of all, Puerto Rico is a different situation than any other state that gets hit from a hurricane or a natural disaster because it's an island. When you have something in Texas or Florida, neighborhood states send massive amounts of help, firemen, everybody goes there. You couldn't get to Puerto Rico unless you had a plane, and that caused part of the problem with the aid. This report, NPR did it. They had 5,000 died. CBS did a report, 4,600. New York Times, 4,100. And then the George Washington University that you cite, Moken, 2,975.
We all can agree it wasn't between 7 and 14 people like the president wants you to believe.
Well, in these reports, Brian, they were adding up people way after the hurricane was over with that had heart attacks, that had that had other diseases. Anybody that died after the hurricane was counted.
And I agree with that. But JD, you're a Trump supporter. So am I. What do you think the actual number is? You know, it's not 7 to 14. We both know that. What do you think the actual number is? Be intellectually honest.
Quite frankly, I really don't know. But there's never been any hurricane that has had, like you said earlier, JD, that has this amount of people. And I'm going to guess, maybe 100 or 2, but I don't know because it's been a while.
And I would say probably 250 to 300, something like that.
Well,
maybe 400.
We can argue. Hold on a second.
But the point is,
forgotten. And let me just finish up with one thing. And
quickly,
I know time's valuable. Brian, a friend of the show, all he was pointing out to you, Brian, was you didn't play the 1 minute and 47 seconds of the entire tape of El Paso, which would give you a different look.
First of all, hold on a second. Hold on a
I
second.
challenge
Hold
you
on
to
a
play
second.
the 147.
JD, first of all, nobody knows what you're talking about, so let me explain it for our listeners. What JD is explaining is in El Paso, after the shooting, 22 people losing their lives, a few days afterwards, Donald Trump visited El Paso. He visited some hospitals. One of the hospitals he visited, inside the hospital, whether he was talking to responders or not, whether he was talking to victims' families or not, the president decided to go after Beto O'Rourke and said that he had bigger crowds than Beto O'Rourke, and that is completely and utterly ridiculous and inappropriate when he is there to mourn and the people that have lost their lives.
Supporter brought that up. Who was wearing Trump's socks.
Then you know what? If you're the president of the United States, show some. Let me finish. Let me finish. If somebody said to the president about Beto O'Rourke and talked about crowd size, I'll tell you what somebody with leadership should have done, JD. Here's what somebody with leadership does. They say, well, we're not here to talk about crowd sizes. The reason why we are here is to talk to the victims and their families. That is what someone with empathy would do, JD. And the fact that you defend it is ridiculous. And the reason why I called Brian, who called in, an idiot is because it had absolutely nothing, zero, to do with the conversation. 257-5396. Let's go to Andre. Andre, what's going on?
What's up, Andre?
Hey, I want to as somebody who's actually Puerto Rican who lived there and who actually has family there, I just want to know what you guys' problem is with Puerto Rico and what Trump has done.
What is my problem with Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
And first of all,
what Trump has done or how he's handled it.
Sure, I'll answer.
Somebody now who's
Sure,
actually lived there.
I'll answer. Sure,
Rico, so go ahead.
Sure, I'll answer your question. It's a valid question. I thought I've answered it already, but I'll tell you.
I'm very excited for this, by the way, Andre.
On a day where we thought that Puerto Rico would be hit again, and everyone is very scared in Puerto Rico, I believe it to be extremely inappropriate for the president of the United States to be attacking people in Puerto Rico, to be blaming Democrats for the death toll, whether the number is wrong or right. It is inappropriate for the president of the United States to be making it about himself and trying to gain political points when it should be about the good people of Puerto Rico and trying to save lives. If he didn't say anything, I would have been fine. If he put out a tweet and he said, look, while I don't agree with the death numbers or so on, let's focus on the Puerto Rican people. Instead, he makes it about himself, and he just makes himself look asinine. Listen, I'm not here saying that the president is responsible for all those deaths. I would never make that comment because it's ridiculous. What I am saying is I want the president, for once in his life, show some compassion and stop attacking people when those good people in Puerto Rico are in fear and they haven't even cleaned up yet from the last hurricane. Andre, that's the only point I'm trying to make here.
The undertone of this is that Brian believes that Donald Trump isn't fit to be president, and that's one of the reasons why.
Well, I know he's a Trump hater. But listen, now that you said your piece, let me go ahead and say ours, because the people of Puerto Ricans like me who have actually lived in that country, that grew up in that country, understand that the country has been a mess for the last 40 years. And everything that he's been saying has been spot on. The corruption in Puerto Rico has been rampant for 40 years. Let me tell you something. The same power grid that was there when I was a little kid was there during the hurricane that devastated the island about a year ago, okay? The same power grid. All the money that the United States of America has given Puerto Rico throughout the years has been wasted, has been stolen by corrupt politicians in that island, and most of them are actually Democrats.
Okay, I don't doubt. Okay, hold on, Andrew. Let me. Okay, hold on. Hang on.
So
Andre.
When he says that, he is spot on. Now, you may not like the way he says it. You may not like how he approaches it or what he tweets.
So can I ask you a question then?
It's spot on.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Do you not think there's any it's funny because the president wants to talk about corruption in Puerto Rico. What about corruption in his own administration? He refuses to address that issue. Why all of a sudden does he talk about other types of corruption but not in his own administration?
Well, you're talking about Puerto Rico. Why are you changing the subject?
Right. Andre, what are you?
I mean, so I'm just letting you know that from a perspective as a Puerto Rican man and the people of Puerto Rico, not everybody's on the same page with you, man. We understand. We live there. We understand the corruption.
All right, Andre, what are you happy with Donald Trump has done for Puerto Rico?
What am I happy about?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy about the fact that, you know, he's addressing it. He's helping. There's financial help going. But, you know, as
You're happy that he's addressing it? That's all you can come up with?
No. But what I'm saying is the big complaint back when the hurricane happened was that not sufficient aid was given to Puerto Rico. And the fact of the matter was that there was financial aid given to Puerto Rico. And a lot
what
of the stuff
separates Donald Trump from all the other presidents? That's a very valid question that JD asked, and then we got to take a break. What are you happy about? What specifically has Donald Trump done to help the people of Puerto Rico?
And I'm giving you a chance to showcase the positives of what he's done. That's what I'm asking you right now.
I think from experience and from the last the hurricane that just happened, I think his response, his financial, his support response
okay,
was adequate.
All right, Andre. I appreciate the call, Andre.
Thanks for the call, Andre.
I do find it interesting that after JD asked you that question, all of a sudden you developed a stutter complex. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
That wasn't necessary.
Yeah, no, it was 100%.
He was a bit caught off guard.
No, you know what? He wasn't caught off guard. That was a very good question you asked, and all of a sudden he developed a stutter complex. I hope you get that taken care of, Andre. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take.